Have you ever wondered why some people stay healthy, strong in their 90s, while others struggle with constant health problems much earlier? It's not just about genetics. Daily habits play a huge role in how well we age. The truth is, many seniors unknowingly make mistakes that cut years off their lives or make those later years much harder than they need to be. And if you want to live comfortably until 90, there are 6 things you should absolutely avoid. In this video, we'll uncover the biggest lifestyle mistakes that accelerate aging, weaken the body, and make daily life more difficult as you get older. From overlooked health habits to common diet mistakes, each one of these can make the difference between thriving in your later years and struggling with preventable issues. Some of these might surprise you, but once you recognize them, you'll have the power to change your future. Make sure to watch all the way to the end, because the last one on this list is something almost everyone does without realizing how damaging it is. By the time we're done, you'll have a clear roadmap for making the right choices to stay active, sharp, and independent for as long as possible. Now let's get started. Number 1, ignoring strength and mobility exercises. One of the biggest mistakes seniors make as they age is assuming that slowing down is a natural part of getting older. While it's true that the body changes over time, completely avoiding strength and mobility exercises can have devastating consequences. Weak muscles, stiff joints, and poor balance are not just signs of aging, they're often signs of inactivity. And the longer someone goes without working on their strength and flexibility, the harder it becomes to stay independent. Think about it, movements you once took for granted, like standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, or even walking for long periods, suddenly feel more difficult. That's not just age, that's the result of muscle loss. Studies show that after the age of 30, people lose muscle mass at a rate of 3% per decade if they don't actively work to maintain it. By the time someone reaches 70 or 80, that loss can make everyday life much harder than it needs to be. And it's not just about muscles. Weak legs and poor balance significantly increase the risk of falling, which is one of the leading causes of injury and hospitalization in seniors. Take the case of Robert, a 74-year-old man, who had always been fairly active in his younger years, but stopped exercising after retirement. He figured walking around the house and doing yard work was enough to keep him fit. But over time, he noticed that getting up from the couch required more effort, and walking for long periods left him exhausted. One day, he tripped on a small rug and fell, breaking his hip. The doctors told him that his muscles had weakened over the years, making his bones more vulnerable to fractures. What should have been a simple stumble turned into months of recovery, and he never fully regained his mobility. On the other hand, seniors who incorporate even a small amount of resistance training into their routines, whether it's body weight exercises, resistance bands, or light weights, see significant benefits. They maintain better balance, move with more confidence, and reduce their risk of falls and injuries. Mobility exercises like stretching and joint-friendly movements keep the body flexible and prevent stiffness that can limit movement. So what's the solution? It's never too late to start. Even if you've never lifted a weight in your life, simple exercises like chair squats, leg raises, or light stretching can make a huge difference. Walking is great, but it's not enough. Strength and mobility exercises should be a part of your routine, at least a few times a week. Because the reality is, the stronger you stay, the longer you stay independent. And in your later years, independence is everything. Number 2, eating too much or too little protein. When it comes to diet, many seniors focus on avoiding sugar, cutting down on salt, or watching their calories. But one of the most overlooked factors in healthy aging is protein intake. Both too much and too little can cause serious issues. Protein isn't just for bodybuilders, it's the foundation of muscle strength, tissue repair, and immune health. And as you get older, your body needs it more than ever. One of the biggest reasons seniors experience muscle loss is simply not eating enough protein. As we age, our bodies process protein less efficiently, meaning we need to consume more of it to maintain muscle mass. But many seniors unknowingly reduce their protein intake, especially if they eat less overall, or avoid certain foods due to dental issues or digestive discomfort. And the result? Weak muscles, slower recovery from injuries, and even a higher risk of infections, because protein also supports immune function. But the opposite problem can also be just as harmful. Eating too much protein, especially from the wrong sources, can put unnecessary strain on the kidneys, especially for those with pre-existing conditions. Some seniors think that adding extra protein shakes or large portions of meat to their diet is the solution, but the quality of protein matters just as much as the quantity. Relying too much on processed meats, high-fat cuts, or artificial protein supplements can actually do more harm than good. Consider the case of Carol, a 76-year-old woman who always tried to eat healthy. She cut back on meat because she heard it wasn't good for aging bodies, but she didn't replace it with other protein-rich foods like eggs, beans, or fish. Over time, she noticed she was getting weaker. Her skin was thinning, and even minor injuries took longer to heal. When her doctor checked her protein levels, they were dangerously low, contributing to muscle loss and a weakened immune system. On the other hand, her friend John, who was 78, took the opposite approach. After hearing about the importance of protein, he started eating large amounts of red meat every day, thinking it would make him stronger. Instead, he felt sluggish, his digestion worsened, and his kidney function declined due to the excessive protein load. He later learned that moderation and balance were key. Lean proteins like fish, poultry, nuts, and legumes provided better results, without the risks of overloading his system. So what's the right approach? Experts recommend seniors get about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, spread throughout the day. But more importantly, the source matters. Lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, beans, nuts, and legumes are great choices. The goal isn't to overdo it or cut it out entirely. It's to strike the right balance to maintain strength, mobility, and immune function well into old age. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, neglecting social connections. One of the most dangerous habits that can shorten your lifespan isn't physical, it's social. As people get older, many unknowingly isolate themselves, whether it's due to retirement, losing touch with old friends, or simply not making the effort to stay engaged with others. And while it might not seem like a big deal at first, studies show that loneliness is just as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of dementia, weakens the immune system, and even raises the likelihood of heart disease and early death. Humans are social creatures, and staying connected is more than just having casual conversations. It's about feeling valued, supported, and mentally engaged. Without that, seniors can fall into patterns of depression, cognitive decline, and even faster physical deterioration. And the scariest part, many people don't even realize it's happening until they've already withdrawn from the world. Take the case of Richard, a 75-year-old man who used to have an active social life when he was working. But after retirement, he slowly stopped reaching out to friends, and as time passed, he found himself spending entire days alone. He told himself he was fine, but over time his memory started slipping. He felt more tired and unmotivated, and even his appetite decreased. His doctor later told him that his isolation was negatively affecting both his brain and body, accelerating the aging process. On the other hand, his neighbor Barbara, who was 78, made a conscious effort to stay socially engaged. She joined a local walking group, had a weekly lunch with friends, and even took up a new hobby at a community center. Not only did she stay mentally sharp, but she also felt happier, had lower stress levels, and was physically healthier than many of her peers. Research shows that seniors who maintain strong social connections have better cognitive function, lower stress, and even stronger immune systems. So how do you prevent isolation? The key is to stay proactive. Even if you don't feel like socializing, make it a point to reach out to family, reconnect with old friends, or join a local group that shares your interests. Whether it's volunteering, joining a book club, or simply making a habit of regular phone calls, every bit of social engagement helps. And with technology today, it's easier than ever to stay connected, even if physical distance is a challenge. The truth is, staying socially active is just as important as staying physically active. And if you want to live comfortably until 90, building and maintaining strong relationships isn't optional, it's essential. But here's the thing, even if you do everything right socially, your health can still be at risk if you're making this next mistake. Number 4, ignoring regular health checkups. One of the most common mistakes people make as they age is assuming that if they feel fine, they must be healthy. But the reality is, many of the most serious health conditions, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and even certain cancers, develop silently, with little to no symptoms until it's too late. Regular health screenings aren't just about catching problems early. They're about preventing complications that could make your later years much harder than they need to be. Too many seniors avoid going to the doctor unless they're feeling sick. Some assume they don't need checkups because they've always been healthy, while others simply don't want to deal with medical appointments. But waiting until something feels wrong is a dangerous game, because by the time symptoms appear, the damage may already be done. High blood pressure, for example, can go unnoticed for years while silently damaging arteries and increasing the risk of stroke and heart disease. And conditions like osteoporosis can weaken bones without any pain or warning signs, making a simple fall far more dangerous. Take the case of Harold, a 72-year-old man who prided himself on never needing medication. He hadn't been to the doctor in over a decade because, in his words, "I feel great, so why bother?" But one morning, while getting out of bed, he suddenly collapsed. It turned out he had severe hypertension that had gone undiagnosed for years, and he suffered a stroke that left him unable to walk without assistance. Had he kept up with regular checkups, his doctors could have caught it early and prescribed simple lifestyle changes. or medications to manage it before it became life-threatening. On the other hand, his friend Ellen, who was 75, scheduled annual screenings even when she felt perfectly fine. Her routine blood work caught an early sign of prediabetes, allowing her to adjust her diet and exercise habits before it developed into full-blown diabetes. Because she took action early, she avoided a lifetime of medication and complications, staying active and independent well into her later years. So what should you be doing? At the very least, seniors should have an annual checkup that includes blood pressure monitoring, cholesterol tests, and screenings for conditions like diabetes and osteoporosis. Routine cancer screenings, such as colonoscopies and mammograms, shouldn't be skipped just because you're getting older. And if something feels off, don't wait, get it checked out. A simple test today could prevent years of suffering down the road. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, poor sleep habits and inconsistent rest. Many people assume that needing less sleep is a natural part of aging. But the truth is, consistent, high-quality sleep is just as essential in your 70s and 80s as it was in your younger years. Unfortunately, many seniors develop poor sleep habits, whether it's staying up too late, waking up frequently, or relying on medications that disrupt natural sleep cycles. And while occasional restless nights might not seem like a big deal, chronic sleep deprivation can accelerate aging, weaken the immune system, and increase the risk of cognitive decline. Sleep is when the body does its most important repair work. It strengthens the immune system, helps regulate blood sugar levels, and even flushes out harmful toxins from the brain that contribute to memory loss and dementia. Without it, the body struggles to recover from daily wear and tear, leading to increased inflammation, higher stress levels, and even a greater risk of heart disease and stroke. Consider the case of Nancy, an 80-year-old woman who had always been a light sleeper. As she got older, she started waking up multiple times a night and eventually stopped getting more than 4 hours of sleep. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it was just part of aging. But over time, she became forgetful, had trouble concentrating, and started feeling anxious for no clear reason. When she visited her doctor, she learned that her chronic sleep deprivation was taking a toll on her brain and nervous system, increasing her risk for Alzheimer's disease. Meanwhile, her friend George, who was 78, made sleep a priority. He stuck to a consistent bedtime, avoided screens an hour before bed, and even started doing light stretching in the evening to relax his body. The difference? He woke up feeling refreshed, focused, and in a better mood each day. Studies show that seniors who get at least 7 or 8 hours of quality sleep per night are not only healthier, but also live longer than those who don't. So what can you do to improve sleep quality as you age? First, maintain a regular sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate the body's internal clock. Avoid caffeine and alcohol in the evening, as both can disrupt deep sleep. Create a calming bedtime routine, such as reading or gentle stretching, to help signal to your body that it's time to wind down. And most importantly, address any underlying issues, whether it's pain, sleep apnea, or anxiety, because ignoring poor sleep can have devastating long-term consequences. Number 6, relying too much on medications instead of lifestyle changes. As people age, it's common to accumulate a long list of medications, one for blood pressure, another for cholesterol, maybe something for arthritis, and then a few more to counteract the side effects of the first ones. But here's a problem. Too many seniors rely on medications as a quick fix, while neglecting the lifestyle habits that could improve, or even eliminate the need for some of them. And while medications are sometimes necessary, overuse can lead to serious side effects, dangerous drug interactions, and an overall decline in health. One of the biggest risks of excessive medication use is polypharmacy, the use of multiple prescriptions at once. When different medications interact, they can cause dizziness, confusion, fatigue, and even an increased risk of falls. And yet, many seniors don't question whether all their medications are truly necessary. Sometimes doctors prescribe a new pill to treat a symptom that's actually caused by another medication, creating a cycle that only makes things worse. Take the case of Henry, a 79-year-old man who was prescribed a medication for high blood pressure. Over time, he started experiencing muscle weakness and fatigue, so his doctor prescribed another drug for energy. Then he began having digestive issues, leading to yet another prescription. Eventually, he was on 7 different medications, and he felt worse than ever. When a new doctor finally reviewed his prescriptions, they realized that some of his symptoms were actually side effects of his medications, not new health conditions. By making simple lifestyle changes, such as improving his diet and exercising regularly, he was able to reduce his need for multiple medications and felt better than he had in years. Meanwhile, his friend Margaret, who was 80, took a different approach. She worked closely with her doctor to prioritize lifestyle interventions first, eating a heart-healthy diet, staying physically active, and managing stress naturally. While she still needed a few key medications, she was able to keep her doses lower and avoid unnecessary prescriptions. Studies show that seniors who focus on lifestyle changes, rather than just relying on medications, have better long-term health outcomes, fewer side effects, and a higher quality of life. So what's the solution? First, always review your medications with your doctor and ask if any of them can be reduced or replaced with lifestyle changes. Second, focus on the habits that support overall health, a balanced diet, regular exercise, good sleep, and stress management. And finally, be your own advocate. Ask questions about new prescriptions, research natural alternatives, and take an active role in your health. Because at the end of the day, the fewer unnecessary medications you take, the better your body functions as you age. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. Now that we've covered these 6 critical mistakes that can make aging more difficult than it needs to be, take a moment to reflect on your own habits. Which of these stood out to you the most? Are there any areas where you think a small change could make a big difference in your long-term health and happiness? The truth is, living comfortably until 90 isn't just about luck. It's about making intentional choices every single day that support your well-being. Ignoring strength and mobility exercises, eating too much or too little protein, neglecting social connections, skipping regular health checkups, allowing poor sleep habits, and relying too much on medications. These are all things within your control. The good news is that it's never too late to start making better choices. Whether it's adding light strength training, reaching out to an old friend, scheduling that overdue doctor's appointment, or simply improving your bedtime routine, every small step counts. Remember, aging well isn't about avoiding getting older. It's about making sure you enjoy every year to the fullest. And the best way to do that is by taking care of your body, mind, and relationships now, so you don't have to struggle later. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.